And then Hendrick obviously starting right midfield, which was a lot of people were talking about. You always got to question Steve Bruce. The question was it a 5 at the back? Was it a 4 at the back? Let's put it on screen for you so you can see as well. So that was the lineup that Bruce went with. Darlow on goal, Manquillo at right wing back, Fabian Schär at centre back, Lascelles, Lewis was left back. And now we obviously, when we're discussing the previous show, we're looking at it thinking, is Isaac Hayden playing centre back? Is he playing midfield? A bit of confusion, and we were all confused at midfield. We were thinking, you know what, he's actually gone with a 4-4-2. We all thought it was 4-4-2. We thought, you know what, we're going to get into the game and he's going to attack. It's going to be something different, but no. 5 at the back once again. This is a manager who is under real pressure because he is biting a lot at the moment, and you've got to look at it and think, why are you playing 5 at the back again? It's frustrating. His job's on the line. He's fighting for his job. He's biting. I think Bruce knows that now. And going 5 at the back was very disappointing. Like I said, it was great to see Alan saint-maximin on the bench. Ryan Fraser back from suspension. We'll talk about more about those two as well. There's a lot of performances tonight, which I'm going to have to question again, the players and the management himself. Aston Villa's lineup, you know, you look at that and had McGinn was the only real one that we knew that was going to be changed. Nakamba came in as well. They've obviously got a couple of talented players amongst their ranks. Obviously, you've got to look out for Jack Grealish, Watkins as well, of course. Barkley, Douglas Luiz. We all talked about them in the preview, in the watch along, all beforehand as well. But it was very, very disappointing. It was really, really disappointing, and it's the same old as Newcastle. I think that's at the point now where the last couple of times I've done the last word, I've been extremely angry, pretty pissed off with a lot of stuff that the club is doing and the way that they're consistently backing Steve Bruce as well. But I think now, and I've noticed as well with a couple of other fans on the fan reaction show, a couple of lads on NFTV as well, is now the anger has now passed and it's now becoming deflating where you're getting sick of it. Whereas you passed not so much caring, where you've gone past the stage where you've gone past the anger now as being a Newcastle fan with how we're playing and everything. That's where I'm at the moment. I'm just deflated tonight. Maybe it's because I'm tired and I've had a long shift at work and what have you, building all the videos tonight. I don't know, but maybe it's a couple of combinations. But I am really deflated tonight, and it's like there's nothing there for me. There's nothing I see watching Newcastle, look at it and think, you know what, playing for the shirt, he was brilliant tonight. What a performance, look how we're attacked and all that. We're not even talking positive on every video, and it's negging me out having to come on and speak honestly about the performances of the team, because it's shit. It's absolutely crap at the moment. And we're going into the first goal, and you know, a lad, Fabian Schär, who was outstanding in his first season, he has to take a large chunk of the blame for the first goal. Yes, Darlow should be. And Darlow, you know, speaking of Darlow as well, Dubravka's itching to come back in. Darlow's had a couple of mistakes in his last 2 or 3 games now. However, most of the blame has to go to Fabian Schär, because when the ball is played across the goal, Fabian Schär slices it up to Watkins, and then Darlow's got to put his hands up for me. He does. I think you've got to look at Darlow. So I'll probably aim that towards maybe 60% Schär, 40% Darlow. I don't know. Maybe let me know. Maybe 70-30 with the fault. Anyways, Newcastle are 1-0 down. How do you react to it? No, we'll park the bus. We will sit. First 5 minutes was fantastic, but apart from that in the first half, nothing at all. Jonjo Shelvey was playing higher up. He was trying to get into the bursting box-to-box midfielder. He was very disappointing. We've talked about him the last game. He was shocking. And a question mark has to be put on Jonjo Shelvey at the minute. And it's not just him. There's several of players who, for me, just don't look up for it. Fabian Schär's another one I've just mentioned as well. I've got a problem at right back. We seem to be talking about the bastard right back every single week. There's a new right back in there. We don't know who's playing right back on Tuesday. That's probably going to change. DeAndre Yedlin has a visa issue. Yes, DeAndre Yedlin has a visa issue, which will come on to Steve Bruce's comments. I mean, there's loads that you can gan through in the lineup. The list is endless. Who poor signings, people who aren't playing up to the standard, people going backwards. Well, you know, we're in progression. We're not in progression. We're in regression. We're going the other way with a lot of the performances. There's only one way this Titanic's going, and you have all fine know what the Titanic does It goes down and down, and then it sinks. That's what we are at the minute. And it was just a case of when it was 2-0, game over. It was game over. And again, John Joe Shelby, simple thing, lucky winner. So obviously there was a bit of build-up. I think was it a corner and it came back out, or was a free kick or something, and then the cross comes back in, it's pulled back. John Joe Shelby's not looking at his runner. And first of all, John Joe Shelby looked at Traore first of all, and Traore just goes straight past him. And then, don't get me wrong, it's a fucking brilliant finish. I cannot deny that. It's a wonderful, wonderful finish into the top corner, and you have to say fair play to the lad. It's a fabulous finish, done well. It's Chelsea breaking through, didn't really make it. You cameo appearances, but you've shown spells at Chelsea and went on to Lyon, did better things. And Villa have got a good player in there as well. Life Goals, who's a Villa fan, obviously. Gregory, who has followed the channel for a while. Thanks for your comments again, Gregory, as ever. 1 goal from open play and 107. I mean, this stat alone from Jason is ridiculous, man. 1 goal, that's an embarrassment. Doesn't matter what level your player actually is going to get us at the first division and then leave. Well, I want him to leave, but I don't want to be in the first division. I'm literally wanting us to lose so you can get sacked. I don't want us to lose because you shouldn't really want your team to lose, but I can get your logic in that. But you should never wish Newcastle to lose. I can get why. Ex-Luton boss, he's trash. Look, all your comments are saying the same. We all want him gone. We all want him gone. It's when does that panic button set off? When did we go, shit, we're in deep shit here? Because right now, I don't feel the ball. And looking at that now, I still think it's 7 points for them. We'll come on the league table in a moment, but I don't think it's panic stations. It is for us fans, of course it is. But for the board, it's not. They still say it's healthy 7 points. Yes, I know Fulham have got a game in hand. And I'm getting off topic, off the game here. But second half begins. Get back to the game. You're thinking, right, what's going to happen in the dressing room? Is someone going to kick off? Is someone going to show a bit of aggression? Is someone going to show a bit of passion? Who knows? But second half didn't show it. Did the fuck? It was the same old for quite a while, probably up towards the 70th minute. Grealish running the show. A lot of play from Aston Villa. For me, there was not enough pressing. I only seen pressing really from Miggy and Wilson off the ball. That was it. It was very much, we'll sit back, let you have the ball, none of it in your face. Villa were ticky-tacking, moving around. It was too easy. And we've said this loads of times, and it's not just Aston Villa, so Villa fans who are watching, we play like that every game. It doesn't matter who you are, we'll give you the ball and let you play. It doesn't even matter. I mean, we struggled to beat Newport earlier on the season. That says it all. A team who hasn't won all season beat us and didn't keep a clean sheet. That tells you our current state at the moment. Newcastle are absolutely awful. So then you're thinking, right, you're 2-0 down. You've got to get back at the game. I like the fact Alan Saint-Maximin's back. I think he will help. Will he change the result? Possibly not. I don't think he's an individual world star that can do it. He definitely help you. But the substitution, I liked Fraser coming on. I liked Saint-Maximin coming on. I want to see them start Tuesday. But I couldn't get my head around why Andy Carroll was taken off. Now, not because Andy Carroll was playing well. The fact is, when Carroll went off, we had wingers who actually were wingers started to cross the ball. Hayden went to right back. Crosses would then start to come in, and we've just taken our best header off the ball because he's lethal in the air. We've just taken him off when we had about 5 or 6 crosses coming in the last 20 minutes. You've just taken your best header of the ball in the whole club out of the game. Now, Dwight Gill obviously was chucked on a little bit later, had a half chance at the end, but overall, that has to be questioned, that substitution, Carroll coming off. If you're going to play with width, you're going to get balls in the box, Andy Carroll has to be on. Whatever you think of him as a player, whether you think he's shit or whether you think he cannot run, because I'm like that, but the lad can header. He's a brute. He's a brute force, and he shouldn't have been subbed off. That's the one sub I'll question more. Probably also he needs to make them substitutions a lot earlier for me. The game is dead. Look lethargic. And when I was talking in the watch along, when I was on earlier on, I was saying to the lads, we look like a team. And I was saying to the lads, I said, if you're a neutral watching this shit, if you're like, I don't know, if you're abroad and you're from Spain and you're an avid whatever, Barcelona fan, Real Madrid fan, Deportivo La Coruña, whoever you're supporting, you're Spanish, right? And you flick over and they're showing the Premier League game tonight, which is Newcastle versus Aston Villa. You've never seen Newcastle play. You think to yourself, fuck me, is this a Premier League team? Is this a Premier League team? Because a neutral wouldn't think that. If you've never seen Newcastle play, you would think that's a team that's gone. For me, that's a team that's gone. There's nothing there. They're not playing for the manager. And what tell a thousand words at the end is when the full-time whistle went, normally you'd shake hands, good match, whatever, you shake hands, you do all of that, or fit, well, you kind of shake hands, but you know what I mean, because of COVID, whatever, elbows, whatever. The players stood on their own, deflated, dejected on their own. Now that tells me that they are, first of all, sick of what's happening, because they are. They'll be sick of the abuse that I give, you give, everybody else who has a platform, social media give, because they don't want to look at it. They're sick of the manager. They're not playing for the manager, and they want something to change, but they don't have the control to change it. That's what I looked at full time when I seen 3 or 4 of them, the cameras pinned on them, all on their own. Didn't even go to each other. Didn't even go to any Villa fans. Just stood there. That told me that is enough. That is enough. The players have now had enough. Now, you might say other players haven't been playing for Bruce or what have you, but that's the first sign for me, publicly, that them set of players are done with Steve Bruce. They are done. That's the first time for me, publicly. Let me know what you think in the comments about that as well. League table. Luckily, no one else has played. Obviously, the all FA Cup action this weekend, but we say this every time, and we shouldn't have to be doing this. We've now got the extra game played more than Fulham. That was our, well, I don't want to call Aston Villa as a banker. That was our game in hand to try and pull a little bit away with the fixture postponed. And again, you're going to be looking over your shoulder to see what Fulham are doing. Now, Fulham at the moment are actually playing really well. I know they got beat off Chelsea, but they're starting to pick up points against some of the bigger sides and playing nice football. Yes, they haven't won many games, but that'll come if they keep continuing to play. They just need a striker, because Mitrovic is not even playing. They've got a winger playing up top at the minute. And again, you're looking at Fulham's results and hoping that Fulham didn't get nothing. And it's a nervous position to be, because all it takes is one win. Because if Fulham win, that's them up to 15. And that's 4 points. And then I go back to the question a little bit earlier on, panic stations again. When do the board panic? When do they think, fuck, we're fucked here? When? Because at the minute, I still don't feel that they think that now, because we've seen that. I think what panic mode is set in for us fans really has probably been for large, you can go back 6 months and so on, but realistic, I think you can see it now everywhere. Social media, war flags at St. James Park tonight, people kicking off on videos like myself, other YouTube channels, going wild, media talking about it, TalkSport talking about it. When is that panic station? That's now in. That is fully in across the board from 99% of Newcastle fans now. That's in. When did the board look at that and get in that position that we're in, or will they? Because at the end of the day, Mike Ashley, if he's trying to sell this club, will not want to be in the Championship selling this club, because he will lose hundreds of millions. He will. The club is worth about 350 million at the minute. We go down, you're going to take at least half of that off. You are. He'll not want that. He'll panic because he's going to lose money. Mike Ashley cares all about money, not about fans. He doesn't give a shit about me. He doesn't give a shit about you. All he cares about is getting rich and getting richer and how to get rich, basically. He buys companies, small fractions, make some profits. That's what he does. Mike Ashley's a very, very smart businessman. He's a twat and he's a cunt, but he's a very, very smart businessman. He's not there for no reason. But that is an asset for Newcastle United. They're just ticking over nicely, staying in the Premier League, nice little bit of coin, ticking nicely. But if we go dropping in, it has to be a moment when that time will come. Because at the moment, the way we are playing, with 10 games playing, without any win, that is alarm bells for any country, no matter where you play your football, whether it's non-league, whether it's right at the top of the league football. That is now set in stone where you are under severely pressure, where the manager has to go. He has to go. And I know we say this and it's easier said than done, but it has to be a time where panic stations come in for Steve Bruce, because for me, as I said earlier on, the dressing room, when I seen that after full time, they do not have belief in them. And I feel for them a little bit with the players. And now you should point the finger and say, do you know what the players deserve? Because the shit, a lot of them are crap. A lot of them aren't playing for the badge, which I would probably agree with what a lot of people would say about that. But I bet a lot of them can't speak truly how they really feel about the situation at the club. I think you'll probably hear that if once one or two leave. Florian Lejeun's already talked about it kind of going around Steve Bruce saying Rafa was great, or Rafa did this for me. Florian Lejeun's already done that. When is the next player to do that? Because at the minute, they can't probably go against Bruce because he's the boss. He won't get picked. They'll be kicked out the door. So they can't. But I think we'll hear more of players speaking about Bruce because it's fucking dreadful at the minute. I'm going on a right ramble here, aren't I? Let's have a look what he's saying in the league table before we get some clips from Adam and Steve Bruce. And also, we've got some quotes what Steve Bruce has as well. Bring back Chris Hughton. I would have Chris Hughton back in a heartbeat, but unfortunately, he's not going to work under Mike Ashley as well. Merseyside Magpie, it battles me to think that Mike Ashley will leave things to the bottom three before he acts. Yeah, like I say, panic stations. When does that kick in? When's that kick in? Adam says no money for new players and no signs of stars in the academy. Who's willing to take over as coach? I think Ben Dawson could do a takeover job for a couple of weeks until he gets somebody. Maybe that's probably a shout. Elliot, who comes on the fan reaction show, haven't been on Elliot for a while. Get yourself on next time. Cabbage Head Tactics were coming at the championship as well. I really wanted Bruce to succeed, likable guy, but it's been a disaster. So did I. Right, I played that video a couple of weeks back when I first talked about Bruce being appointed. For me, he has to go at that very stage. I said he has to go and prove to everybody that he can do the job. Right, when the first game of the season, and that was Arsenal, horrible day, pissing through the rain. There was the boycott. Go on, Bruce. Go and prove everybody wrong. I'm that fan. Go on, show us. He hasn't. He has not showed us. We're going backwards. We are going backwards. We're not developing as a club. We aren't at the minute. So we're crap. We're absolutely fucking crap. And the club is rotten at the moment. And it's now dropped to the morale of the players as well. And this was interesting. If you haven't seen this as well, War Flags, who do a lot of displays, and they decided to give it up when Rafa Benitez went, and fair play to them. Fantastic displays. They had a 2 or 3. You've only got 2 on the screen here, but there is 3. They're on Twitter, so if you haven't seen them, get over at Twitter, War Flags. Fantastic, getting themselves out, and this will get publicity. This is what they want. This is what fans want. People talking more and more about Bruce getting out of this club, because this will be picked up without a shadow of a doubt, if it hasn't already, by the Chronicle tonight. And the outside the ground, you can see the couple of pictures there. That'll get more and more demonstrations. They really will, and I think the pressure has to keep going. And Bruce is what he said as well when we bring up a clip in a minute is bizarre, absolutely bizarre what he actually says. What I'll actually do is we'll get a clip of Bruce first, and then we'll come back to a couple of the tweets from Lee Ryder.
Well, we see it very, very often about the first goal, and unfortunately we've gifted them a goal, and after that it was difficult, but there was large parts of it I was pleased about. Certainly when the addition of Saint-Maximin and Ryan in particular will give us something hopefully at the top end of the pitch, and we'll get 1 or 2 central defenders back. And but I've seen enough to be encouraged. Yes, we've got to accept defeat, but there was enough there to work on. The idea of it is, of course, I mean, all season I've never been able to play Ryan and Alan, and with the back end of January I've never had the opportunity because both of them haven't been fit. So it was a way of getting them 2 on the pitch and giving us something in a wide area, and in an attacking area we had to try and score a goal. Well, that's always the difficult part of the Premier League. We understand that, and we have found it extremely difficult to score a goal. So, but I was encouraged, especially when I seen them 2 come on the pitch. So, another game Tuesday, and let's get ready for it. I've seen enough in the squad, when I seen them 2 come on the pitch, especially, and 1 or 2 getting back fit. We're not as ravaged as we were with injury. So, we've got a problem at centre back. We've got 3 or 4 missing, unfortunately, there. So, we hope that clears up well. But, the big players in the team are the ones who can create and score a goal for us, are getting themselves back to fitness, which could only be a good thing.
So I put that quote out on Twitter and Facebook a little bit earlier on. Large part of the games I was pleased about. Is he watching a fucking different channel to me? Large part of the games I was excited. He has to say that. Of course, he has to come out and speak positively. Maybe it might do him the world of good actually having a go at 1 or 2 players publicly. Jose Mourinho does it. Maybe that's a tactic that Bruce could go down, because some of the players have had enough of him, and he's probably had enough of some of them as well. But that it's just strange, some of the stuff that he's coming out that we're playing well. We didn't play well at all. Everybody who's watched the game, you know that fine well. We didn't play well at all. We were awful. We were shocking. In large chunks, we didn't play well. What is positive? Alan Saint-Maximin, great. He's back, fantastic. That'll help we get forward. We had more crosses in the box, but you took your big striker off. What's that all about? So for me, there's not large parts. There's large parts to be more worried because it's a similar trend each game. Leeds United who scored 5 past were last month, come to St James's Park. Yes, they'll probably give you a couple of chances, which we might score a goal. Woohoo! Fuck me! We might actually score a goal. But Leeds come to town, Bielsa. I'm deflated and negative, and I'm just, I get myself up and, you work around and you enjoy your football, and you're meant to enjoy your football. It's meant to be. And Adam, who came on to the fan reaction from South Africa, made a great point. He's stuck indoors. He's working from home. He's not allowed out because it's shit the minute with COVID. And football's meant to be your release. It's not. I think it, for a lot of people, doesn't me personally, but I could imagine for a lot of people, it affects their mental state. I really do, because you've got negativity with the COVID and the virus and all this, and then you go and watch that. Some people might only have Newcastle United. Some people might not have a family. Newcastle United might be their release. It's awful, man. It's awful for your well-being watching that, because it's a club that you love, and all it does is stab you in the back every single game. You can't enjoy that as a fan. I think neutrals think, fuck me, I'd love to play Newcastle right now. Every single club up and down the country. Sunderland could probably deal with it. Sunderland could probably do one on in a minute. Sunderland could turn us over. Very confident Sunderland could turn us over. That's how crap we are. And that would be embarrassing in its own self. Looking at tweets, what Bruce has said tonight, and again, just to confuse us a bit more, the way he's thinking. Steve Bruce said, what encouraged me to see Ryan and Alan on the pitch? I think the first time I've been able to see a glimpse of them. That is the difficult part in the Premier League. Well, simply, Bruce, now you can start playing them more often. You've got no excuses. I don't want to hear that excuse again. So if you've used that once, don't use it again. Next one, Steve Bruce says there was an issue with DeAndre Yedlin's visa. That's why he's not playing tonight. So DeAndre Yedlin, of course, is running down his contract. They're looking to get an extension on his visa. He couldn't play tonight. I mean, how did the club find themselves in this position? I mean, if this was, I'll say, Maximum or Callum Wilson, I think there'll be more story about it. I think it'll be kickoffs. But that's an embarrassing fact that you can't even get one of your own players eligible to play a game of football. So that's a joke in itself. Steve Bruce says he's not in a position to comment on Graham Jones coming in as a coach, but there's no denial from him. And obviously, there's been big talk about Graham Jones. And look, I don't know much about him as well. And he's a Gateshead lad, done assistant jobs in Belgium, and he's went to Luton, failed miserably down Luton. He's obviously his assistant at Bournemouth. He might be a good coach. Maybe it's what they need, but the time will tell. But is it a name that thinks, yes, he's going to help prove? No, not the minute. But again, is he the man? No, he's not the man, but he has to prove us all wrong if he does come in, because it sounds like that he's coming in, because surely Bruce would deny it. And the bottom one, obviously, I showed you the flags earlier on, a couple of minutes back. Steve Bruce on the flags at St James's Park. He says, I am disappointed to hear that. We shouldn't be disappointed here, because you're not good enough. And I've said this the last couple of weeks. He's out of your depth in this division, even if it's not. And I said that the other day on one of the last words I've done a week or two back, that Steve Bruce is out of his depth. No matter which team he manages in the Premier League, he would make the team go backwards. And I said in the watch along, who would you rather come in? Or you could have Tony Pulis, you could have Mark Hughes. I wouldn't want any of them. But what I would do is I'd fucking risk it. I'll get rid of Steve Bruce. That'll make us happy. If it means that we'll have to have a fucking dinosaur manager comes in, it can't get any worse. Fuck me, I didn't want the dinosaur manager coming in, didn't get me wrong. But Christ, if we just get Steve Bruce out to stop the rot, I think it'll lift the fan base, it'll lift the players, fresh ideas, because they're not listening to him. They're not listening to Steve Bruce whatsoever. Not whatsoever. One final clip we've got from Adam on his reaction. As you can imagine, he's pretty deflated himself.
Thanks for that, Lee. Yep, that's now 10 games without a win for Newcastle. It's becoming increasingly hard to watch them now. I'm sure most of you will agree, this can't go on for much longer. The players are looking so dejected now. There's no fighting them, there's no pressing, they don't close the ball down, they can't pass a ball. Jeff Hendrick's continuing to get in the team, can't pass a ball 5 yards. Where do we go from here now? I can't see us winning many more games this season, no more than 4 or 5, which isn't going to be enough to stay in the league. I think teams around us are starting to pick up points. You know, we're making teams like Villa, who, yes, are a good team, but we're making them look like Barcelona, Real Madrid, knocking the ball around. I'll reiterate again, the manager has to go for any type of reaction from the second half of the season, and that's us halfway through the season now, I think, and another half like that, we're not going to pick up 18, 19 points like we did the first half. Good players like Callum Wilson, not looking to start and not look interested. John Joe Shelby has gone so far back. Fabian Charles, they're just not good enough. Where do we go from here? It's one way, and that's down at the moment. Change is needed. The players just sat on the pitch after looking at each other. No one's got their arm around them. Yeah, bad times now. As he says, dust ourselves down. We'll all have to do it again on Tuesday, which I don't see many points coming from.
Dust ourselves down. Has Bruce said that tonight? I bet he does. I just want to highlight Sam. Sam writes articles for our website. Fantastic articles. Please check them out on Newcastle Fans. Have I pointed it up? NewcastleFansTV.com. There you go. So Sam's our writer on there, which is fantastic. So he does some fantastic stuff. He'll have his match report out, no doubt. Yeah. Look, got it off my chest. That's the wrap up. In a day or two, we'll do a Leeds. Yeah, Leeds are coming for you. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Leeds batter. That's how much hope and optimism I've got. And yeah, expect Leeds to come out and batter as well. The Chinese Jody says that's rightly. Can't go out without Newcastle is supposed to keep us going mentally. I've literally for weeks now asked myself, should I watch the game? Shouldn't be like that as a fan from any club. Yeah, spot on as well. That is it. That's a wrap up of all the videos as well. So apologies about the carry on at the beginning. Don't know what I've done. Made the screen go large. But that is it. That's a wrap up. Got a preview. We'll probably do it maybe Monday, I think. Maybe a better one to give the lads a bit of a rest, because I've been at it since 8:30 this morning here at work and straight doing all the videos and that. But yeah. Let us know what you think. Get your comments in as well, and we'll read them out as well. Right. Ta-da, everyone.